wards. You're on your own. Destroy those ghost wards.
It's awfully calm. Why is it awfully calm? The wards work well enough. You didn't need to kill so many bots.
Demonologists use necromancy. Maybe he thought he'd bring them back when he was done. Red, I can't manifest anymore. Spectres. They haven't noticed us. Stay low. You'll get it next time. Standing by.
Careful now.
An Ariadne's thread leading through the void. Very useful indeed.
Very useful right until it falls apart. Then you're stuffed like force meat in a turkey.
An Ariadne's thread leading through the void. Very useful indeed.
Very useful right until it falls apart. Then you're stuffed like force meat in a turkey.
Creepy hideout. The governor's spawn likes a bit of drama.
This one's different. Looks like it died diseased. Ugh. What is this thing?
Banisher rule number 4.
If it oozes, don't touch it. Another botched experiment?
It may be native to the void.
What is this thing?
Banisher rule number 4.
If it oozes, don't touch it. Another botched experiment?
It may be native to the void.
This is some dark, sideways magic.
It's forbidden. I've read it.
Sometimes I worry about you.
So, you can see me. Aren't you full of surprises, young Master Haskell?
You may talk. A Banisher ghost. Amazing. How on God's earth did you find me? Never mind that. Thank the Lord you did. Thought I was going to grow old in here.
Lamentation, isn't it? Do you remember me?
Call me Lammy. I remember you. You spoke with my father.
As hiding places go, the void is quite the choice.
Yes, an amazing place. Oh, plane? World? The Araloo is not easily described, but it makes a fascinating study. Tell me, how did you get past the Guardian beneath the mill? Did you use a decoy?
We fought it. Don't change the subject.
You fought it? Of course you did. A good thing too. I was starting to think it was wise to me tricks. Oh, but I have so many questions.
This isn't a social call, kid. And we're the ones with the questions.
Oh. Oh. Of course.
From the looks of this place, you're knee-deep in research. What are you doing here exactly?
Searching for the origin of the Harrow's plague, of course. And I have a theory on the subject.
Of course you do. Go on then.
Now at first I believed the water poisoned, but my father sealed the well, and yet folk remained sick. They looked for witchcraft, a foolish, uneducated suspicion, yes, but with some truth concealed behind it. You see, the Araloo taints New Eden. Its influence leaches into the Harrows. The evidence is everywhere.
Can you prove that? Where's your evidence?
In New Eden, the threshold between our plane and this is thin. Even I, a novice, may reach the frontier and then go beyond. I also believe it happened before. Some years ago, New Eden was hit by another epidemic.
Yes, we learned of it in Fort Jericho.
I believe that first epidemic was caused by the porosity of the frontier between New Eden and the Araloo. Although, where theirs was an affliction of burning flesh, ours is a corruption of mind and spirit. And I believe I have found its source. There is a substance, a strange ooze. You may have noticed it. This, I believe, is the true source of the Harrow's poison. It carries a particular stink, on the scent of which I experience first confusion, then a loss of control over my limbs.
What do you expect to find at the source of the ooze?
To find a cure. The ooze seeps into our world, sickening us. I may be able to stop it. Unfortunately, I cannot reach the source. The Araloo is a formidable place. Tricky. A maze constantly evolving, changing, reshaping itself. The isthmus, for example. I found an oozing crack in the ground. The terrain then remade itself, and I can get to it no longer.
Perhaps we might be able to find a way through and take a look at that source.
Would you? That would be splendid. Would you mind taking notes?
You see ghosts. You stroll the void as if it were your garden. You possess and share forbidden rituals. Who are you really?
I'm Lammy Haskell, and I'm a man of many sciences. I am in fact a true pursuer.
That raises more questions than it answers.
What are the pillars of the universe? Which principles underpin existence? As occultists, do we change the world or scratch upon its surface? Each discipline I embrace peels back a new layer of reality. I'm yet at the beginning, and see where I already stand. Amazing, no?
Are you a demonologist like your father?
More or less. Less, more so. My father sees occultism through the eyeglass of his faith, but I know better. So, more so?
If you don't share your father's faith, what do you believe?
I believe in the afterlife. The proof is about us. And if the void embodies eternal despair, there must too be a place of hope. But where, I ask myself, where?
Your father is convinced a witch poisoned his well. Caleb Watson was cursed by a ritual you gave him. I'd focus if I were you.
We must counter the devil with knowledge of his tricks. That, my father always said, is the purest of God's work.
Aye, I can imagine your father saying that.
When I was 10, he gave me my initiation. Demonology, sir, as he would say. He saw me as his heir. Then, of a sudden, the books were forbidden. So I stole them, the very same books he'd forced upon me as a boy. I understand them where he does not. I did no wrong, apart from a little theft.
We must talk of Caleb Watson. Why in the hell would you give him a resurrection ritual?
Ruth's death hit poor Caleb hard. He was alone, and so I would often stop by his workshop. We talked. He took a keen interest in my studies and was a good listener. When he learned that she could possibly return, he had one question. How?
Men bonding over bereavement and black magic. A pretty tale indeed.
I should have proceeded with more caution.
You shouldn't have proceeded at all. We have a witch hunt on our hands. You could face trial for this botched ritual.
Yes, and I'm sorry. I found it in a copy of De Occulti Philosophia by Cornelius Agrippa von Nettesheim. A remarkable book.
I've met my fair share of illustrious occultists, and none owned an authentic Agrippa. Much is lost in translation or altered in the printing. I doubt your copy is an exception.
Of course! The power is in the words, and mine were wrong, so the power went awry. How very fascinating.
Are you aware of what would happen if people learnt of your studies?
Surely the acquisition of knowledge cannot be a sin.
Will you still say that when Pennington accuses you of witchcraft? You must remember Deborah.
Miss Comenius. Yes, of course, I remember.
Your father tasked us with an investigation. One way or the other, we must return with the mystery solved.
Ah. I think I understand what you're saying. I might be in a tiny little bit of, danger.
You've studied demonology. Did you do it alone?
When my father forbade me to continue, I confess I disobeyed him in secret. Those big books were very boring until they were forbidden. Suddenly I could not get enough of their secret knowledge. Funny, eh? More recently, a good friend of my father showed me that I had only been scratching at the surface.
Who was your father's friend?
An itinerant Frenchman who often visited New Eden in recent years. He called himself a true pursuer. As a thinker, he was prolific and profound. My father was so proud to be included in his discourse. For him, knowledge is the ladder to greatness, and greatness is the prize. To me, knowledge is itself the prize.
Let's go take a closer look at that ooze then.
And with that sorrow gone, I can leave. Do be careful. My home is your home. If you need anything, help yourself.
The Araloo is not your home, Lammy. But thank you. May be native to the void.
Antea, we should get going. So, the pious governor's unassuming son is our evil Harrow's witch.
The more powerful the loose cannon, the more dangerous it is. I don't know that I buy Lammy's hair of the dog theory, but I feel strange, and I suspect...
Oh, God! I need a wee bit of help here. Well, that was not pleasant. Well, not pleasant at all.
A ward restrains me. I can't help you. Ghost wards cannot manifest. Something has me. Wards. Wards, you're on your own. A ward restrains me. I can't worry. I can manifest now. Can I join in too? I'm right here, you know.
Oozes through the breach, suppurates like a festering wound.
How delightful.
Let's see what lies on the other side. Where are we now?
Underground, looks like.
Wonderful.
The ooze affects the incarnate, too. The ooze affects the incarnate, too. Who goes there?
Is that a ghost?
I don't know. But I don't think we're alone. What might you be, then?
What was...
Innocence. Oh, shite.
Did you just say shite? You? It's bigger than I thought it'd be.
Is that a house from the Harrows?
We may be below the well.
No wonder they all got sick.
The cries of the innocent have reached the ears of the Lord Almighty.
Something's nearby.
Where is it? Look up. The ooze, oozed through the very stone.
And of all of them, just this one house fell down.
Maybe it was personal.
Could this house have been targeted by the ooze?
Obviously. Look around you.
This house belonged to a certain Antipas and Clemency Gibbs. Picking up something spectral nearby. Is it just me or?
I felt it too.
The Gibbs' land was barren. They were struggling for money. Still impressive. Ducks.
Hogging all the fun.
Traces of a ghost's memory resonate here.
Mr. and Mrs. Gibbs, have you read my paper?
I read it, aye. And then I washed my hands and prayed for grace. You claim to prove that there is no curse. Well,
A witch would say that, wouldn't she?
Wherever people gather to live, disease takes hold, and I believe... What are you doing?
your evil lies shall be destroyed. We know who you are, and you shall be judged. Witch!
That was Deborah. She built a case for her rationality, and they tore it apart.
You bastard!
Eyes peeled.
Mrs. Gibbs, I presume.
Another shadow.
What do they want? Red, something is keeping me from manifesting.
In here? Ah, shite.
Beware. Wards. Wards. I'm going to need a hand.
I see a ghost ward. What are they doing down here?
The greedy strive with purpose ruin the households of the righteous. Guilty.
I am warded. Watch out. Spectre possession.
Piss off!
Better.
You're welcome.
Now let's inspect the body. Off we go then.
Expecting no less from
Must I do everything?
Someone didn't want to stay dead.
Clemency Gibbs blamed the epidemic on a witch. Come from New Eden town with the governor.
That's not what Deborah was saying.
The Gibbs are not at home to rational explanations.
The greedy shall fall, and their certitudes be swamped when the final judgment comes.
See anything?
Either the water table is full of ooze, or there's another source.
Let's search upstream.
Ready and waiting. Over there.
Elusive little buggers.
Don't step in that. I mean it.
I'll find a way around then.
Ghost wards cannot manifest.
Those echoes were here when the shadows speaking.
They always appear near the ooze.
So do the whispers.
But which came first? The whispers say the same things over and over.
What kind of entity would be so obsessed?
I don't know. I'm drawing a blank.
To deliver you from the way of evil, your captives are unleashed upon you.
Possession incoming.
A wee Highland kiss for you.
Watch out. Spectre possession.
This looks perfectly drinkable.
Famous last words.
Why hasn't the poison spread to the groundwater?
Perhaps it shifts and shapes, like the void. Well, at the very least, it shifts. Looks like the ooze comes from a distinct source. This whole country is rotten to the core.
And you're just now reaching this conclusion?
If I wanted your opinion, I'd give it to you.
Perhaps if you gave me the space to have one, then we'd both be better off. Whoever it was, looks like the ooze got him. This must be Antipas Gibbs. Hell of a fall to live through.
What do you think, Antea?
You wanted the space to have your own opinion. I'm giving it to you.
This is how they kill their fear. This is how.
He must be quite the man to have walked over here. Now join in any time, Antea.
What do you think I'm doing?
This is God's land. How could we let a witch come to our community? Instructing our children, no less.
'Tis no surprise. New Eden brims over with backsliders. The governor, chief amongst them.
Aye, many had to sicken and die for him to act. But the deed is not yet done.
We must fight the Lord's good fight and cast the devil out for good. Many want to try the witch, aye, and many want to see her dead.
Think you could take on a ghost?
There's more of.
friends.
Hogging all the fun.
Putting up a fight then.
Call on me.
Those things came from the ooze. They're like those oriental shapeshifters we fought in Bremen.
Or Bacche liquefy. This is something else. The Gibbs were so angry. Pure entitled bigotry.
Maybe they were affected by the ooze. I mean, we've been snapping at each other since we got here. Something's toying with us.
I think they made the ooze. I don't think the ooze made them.
Wasn't he finished looking around?
We can't leave yet.
This is it. This is the source. How do we get to it?
You have turned your back from love. Looked away when first needed. Felt it.
We need to stop at some point. He would be all right.